And we are live. Hi, I'm Joanna Rochester, and this is Real Talk Wellness Renegades. I'm here today with Lynn Grushka, and we are going to talk about how to keep your home naturally clean and healthy, and helping us to actually have it as a home where we're welcome to live. So this is part of Speak Up and Empower, which is an online membership-based community that is global. We welcome anyone that's interested in finding out more in their lives. We provide you with the tools that you need to find more in your life, whether as an expert and have your voice heard, or as someone that just is searching for more information. We are here for you. So Real Talk Wellness Renegades is all about wellness. Anything that's outside of allopathic medicine or Western medicine, we just want to share as much as possible with you information about natural therapies, natural remedies, natural ways to take care of yourself, because we are all designed to heal ourselves. We've just forgotten how. So Lynn, tell us all about yourself, because Lynn is an amazing person. She always amazes me. She's a mother of 4 and has a very active life. She has a business that does amazingly, and a husband that is busy all the time. So Lynn, tell us a bit more about you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Joanna. I'm super grateful to be here and always excited to share about how you can make your home healthier without using toxic products to clean. As you said, I've got 4 kids. Lucky and happy that 2 or 3, I should say, are back at school. I do have one that is going to get homeschooled for a little bit. So he's upstairs reading stories with his grandmother right now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I actually grew up in Montreal with my husband, and we moved here, 2001, 2002. And it wasn't until 2007, 2008, after my daughter was born, that we got introduced to a completely different way of cleaning. Before that, I was a chemical user, and I didn't realize that the products I was using in my home to clean for many years was actually causing a lot of the health issues that I had, from skin issues such as rashes, dermatitis, eczema, all that kind of stuff, to even the migraines. I suffered from migraines for years and years and years, and finally, when I was taught about this new way of cleaning and just getting rid of the chemicals in our home, did I realize that that's what was causing it. And so there's so much to be said about getting these toxic products out of our home and finding better ways to clean that don't involve ingredients that we know nothing about.
Well, and so much of what you said there is so interesting, because so often people just don't think about that, right? Right? They just clean and everything, right? How can that affect us? Well, anything that you breathe or it goes on your skin, anything like that is absorbed into your body.
Yeah.
So, anything that's around us. And I think that so often, we listen to Western medicine and blame any issues on, we go and take a medicine, right? And sometimes medicines are necessary, but there's so much that we can do. It always drives me crazy when I hear someone say, "Oh yeah, I use bleach all the time." It's like,
It's the
even down to, like people that garden in the summer, and someone that I know said, "Oh yeah, I always dip my fingers in bleach afterwards to clean my nails." And it's like,
yeah, it's scary. Well, I think the sad part is that, all these products are sold in stores. They're found on shelves. We see them on commercials, and it's just the assumption is that they're safe because they're made available to us, right? There's no ban on these products, and so we just blindly use. We don't know what we don't know, so people just blindly use what's available and assume that the products that we buy are doing what they say they're doing. They're cleaning, and most people don't even read the labels. So most people aren't even using products correctly.
Yeah.
People are buying them because they think that they're going to be killing stuff, right? Like they're worried about bacteria and viruses. And so, they look at the labels and it says kills 99.9%. But they don't read the labels, so they don't realize that, in order for these chemical products to be effective, it actually has to be on a surface for a minimum amount of time. And most of us are in a rush. Like, nobody takes the time to wait 15 minutes before they wipe away the product, right? It's spray and wipe, spray and wipe. So what is it really doing in the long run?
Well,
It's
and
our
the
health.
topic comes close to my heart with now with everything going on, right? And you walk in stores and they've got those bottles of antiseptic cleaner, and they're going, must use it before. And I've gotten to the point now where rather than saying I'm not, I fake it.
Yeah.
But it drives me crazy, right, to squish, and especially because so often it comes out so much of it, and then it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Right? So is it actually doing anything for us to use that? And not only is it doing anything for us at the time, is it killing off any germs? But then the secondary question to that is, what is it actually doing to us that we're putting this on our bodies?
Yeah. And I think, there's a misconception, or maybe it's just a miseducation on the differences between cleaning and sanitizing and disinfecting. And I mean, don't get me wrong, there is a place that is an appropriate place to be using disinfecting products, such as, if you're going in for surgery, you want to make sure that that room is sterile, right? Like you want to make sure that the tools are sterile. Your dentist wants to make sure their tools are sterile. But, for the average person at home who's already healthy, for the people going in and out of stores that wash their hands with proper soap and water, the way that we're actually being told is the most effective way to get the germs off your hands is soap and water, right?
Mm-hmm.
To be just using products that are chemicals made to kill what's on the skin, I mean, what are we doing? We're basically introducing a chemical to our skin, which may or may not be killing everything on your skin, and then you're walking around with it. Right. So if people start visualizing that, maybe they'll understand a little bit more that, when you're just killing what's on your hand, then you're just walking around with it. And everything you touch, it's now getting transferred to, right? The best way to keep clean is, especially when it comes to hands, go to the sink and wash your hands. If you're out and about and you have nothing to wash your hands, then I can see that there may be a place for that. But why not just bring a cloth with you, right? Like, wash your hands with soap and water in your car. Just bring a washcloth, really. Like, why do we need to keep introducing these chemicals to our skin that are really just bringing more harm than good?
Mm-hmm. And so that gets absorbed into your body. And, then we build up resistance to all those antibiotics that we put into our body, and let alone the issue that's created by all these antibiotics and the alcohol in them and all those things along that line. So anyways, it's one of those topics that unfortunately, we're going to be continued to be forced to do it as much as possible. We could go off in a diatribe with those thermometers being pointed at your head and your pineal gland and stuff like that, but we won't. So back to topic. So what is the biggest thing that you see? Like, what is I won't say the worst chemical, but what do you most often see used in the home that is the easiest to replace?
You know what? One of the easiest, I think, is your window cleaners. There's no, I hate to name brands, but we all know the blue liquid, the blue liquid spray that, we spray on windows and wipe away after with paper towels. So, it's not just our health, but it's the health of the planet that we're on. That we should be concerned about, right? So, all of these products, even if you went, to just using vinegar, you're already one step better, right? But then again, I look at it as a whole. It's not just what we're absorbing into our skin, but it's what are we putting into the environment, and is that even healthy? So, when you go to the store and you start buying these, eco-friendly brands, there's a lot of greenwashing out there, but even eco-friendly brands have been shown to create levels of VOCs in the air. So that's, volatile organic compounds in the air. And a lot of our homes now are being built more and more, let's say they're better insulated because, we're trying to keep the energy and not lose it to the outside air. And so we're now creating a worse air pollution in the house than what we have outside because we're spraying these in the house.
Well, and then it doesn't, unless you've got a really good circulation system and a really good air ventilation system or air filtering system, then it's recirculating in the house over and over again. So, we don't want to, it's not about fear, it's about a better understanding of what is in the home and then how to change that. So for the windows, I think back to that. I can remember when we were kids, my aunt coming over and when my mom was pregnant with, I think, my youngest brother, and cleaning all the windows with newspaper and vinegar. And I can remember thinking, oh my gosh. But, it was better for the environment, right? She wasn't going out to buy newspapers to do it. So it was better for the environment and the vinegar. Anyways, but now there's so many products out there. And to be completely honest, Lynn sells Enyo, which is a Canadian company that sells products for the home that allow you to go chemical free. And they have an amazing window product that allows you to clean your windows streak free, and it makes it really quick and easy and everything like that. So what about like dish detergent? How do you clean without dishwashing? Not dishwasher, but dish detergent. How do you clean without that?
Right. So in this case, like with Enyo, it's actually an Austrian company. We have the Canadian distributor who's just outside Toronto. But all the products are made right in Austria, and then we have them shipped here for our Canadian customers. It's a fiber technology. So rather than using a product to clean, so we're not using anything to kill or dissolve. It's not product cleaning, it's mechanical cleaning. So going back to the dentist analogy, like a dentist doesn't put chemicals on your teeth. They physically scrape the dirt off your teeth, right? They're doing mechanical cleaning when you go there. Mm-hmm. And so it's the same thing in our home or even on our skin. Rather than using a product to clean, we're using the power and the the technology of the fiber itself to do the cleaning, and we just use water with it. So there's really nothing more natural on your skin than just using water. The nice thing is you don't even have to understand ingredients, because even like now you're trying to compare products and you read the ingredients. Well, some people do. Some products you buy in the store, they don't even give you the ingredients because of proprietary recipes or whatever they call them. But you don't need to understand ingredients. It's just fiber, fabric, and water, and the fiber does the cleaning for you. It's very different than a microfiber. A microfiber cloth is something that's flat, and especially now with all the stuff going around, it's important to understand, the difference between just surface cleaning and pore deep cleaning. Mm-hmm. And that's what makes this product Enyo so different, is the fact that it can get down into the pores. And so you're not just doing superficial cleaning, you're getting even better cleaning without using any products.
Okay.
Dish soap,
go ahead.
Water. We just use water to do our dishes. Water, cold water, and fiber.
And I've been to Lynn's house and I've seen her using it. And, to be completely honest, every time I go, I think, wow. So I've tried it many times, but to be honest, I do have a ball of dish soap. It is one of those environmental ones, but and in fact, Enyo sells a line of them. But the majority of the time, I try to be good.
That's okay.
So the other thing that you mentioned before is that, with the dentist, right, to actually clean. So it is like the same thing, right, with what you put on your skin, right? To actually, anything that you put on your skin is absorbed into your body. So any product that says, right, that's supposed to be put on your skin and it says not to be taken internally, it is being taken internally. So that is something to think about when you're starting to read the labels about whether or not a product is natural enough that you should be able to drink it in order to put it on your skin. So that's where you get into products like using coconut oil for moisturizer and for skincare and things along that lines. Do you have any other suggestions that you use within your house?
Yeah, I think, as you said, like the coconut oil, keep in mind, the skin absorption is one thing, but even now, how they're telling us, don't touch your face, don't rub your eyes. Those are points of entry. So if you cannot eat what you're using, then we shouldn't be using them near our skin, right? Because you're putting it near your eyes, you're putting it near your mouth, you're touching food after with your hands. So anything, and I mean, anything you can think of that you need to clean, we just say there's an annual for that. There's another alternative. And, but I think, like you said, you have a hard time with the dishes. I think for everybody, there's a different learning curve, right? There's different levels of comfort. It's just like with nutrition, when people are changing their habits. I mean, sometimes it's hard to just go cold turkey. So, you know, we give you advice step by step to maybe take baby steps. You know, maybe start with just looking at what you can use for your kitchen, or maybe just start looking at, okay, well, how are you going to eliminate the products on your skin? Look at where you're using the most chemicals is my suggestion, and see where you can make the biggest impact with the smallest change.
Well, and so there's also a few things in there that you just mentioned. One is, what's coming to the forefront, even if you have a cleaning lady, if you even have a cleaning person, they can use other products. I know that my cleaning person, when I first started with her, she'd never heard of not using chemicals, and it was a big challenge for her, but now she only recommends using Enyo. Now, if you don't have Enyo, you don't want to jump into that. I get it, but there are so many products. And so, as you said, that first step, even though a lot of the environmentally clean products are still not where we should be, they're not as natural as we like, it is a step. It's a step in that direction to start moving towards things. And as you said, it's like nutrition, right? That come to understand a bit more. Like, as a nutritionist, I hear people say, well, I'm going to start on a diet and I'm eating Caesar salads. And, Caesar salads, they are okay. It's a salad still, right? Ideally, it's homemade dressing as opposed to the store-bought, and that it's not every single day, and you understand that you're taking a lot of fat, all those things, right? So there's a whole bunch of things, but I love that you said that, right? Take small steps towards making changes. So look at what's there in your home, and look for the most chemicals, and then see, like, if you can use a product like Enyo, then use it, right? Take advantage that that's out there. But if you can't, then there's all kinds of other ways of making those changes. So if people don't have Enyo, even though I think they should, if people don't have Enyo, what are some of the things that, some other things that you can suggest to people?
I think, you know what, if you look at floors, cleaning floors, traditionally in the past, we would just take a bucket of water and a couple drops of soap and, take old kitchen tea towels, be down on your hands and knees. Obviously, I really like the annual floor system because I don't have to go on my hands and knees, but that's how we used to clean. And I'm not that old either, and I still remember that, right? So it's just, we've gone so far away from how we used to clean, which was so much healthier. And when all these new chemicals were introduced, people just kind of switched to them. But just go back to how we used to clean is already a great step. So, and you know what, the funny thing, I mentioned floors because I think floors is where, your pets are closer to, babies crawling on the floor, the area where the most vulnerable are the closest to. And yet the floor of all places is the last surface I would be disinfecting. Because if you think about it, like, how many times do you walk in and out of the house? Like, what's the point of disinfecting a surface that is really going to get, for better choice of word, called recontaminated just 2 seconds later, right? I mean, there's really no point in disinfecting floor. You just need to clean it, keep the dirt off of it. Germs can't thrive in an area that's clean. So if you just keep it clean, your home is going to be just naturally cleaner. And so even just getting a bucket of water with some towels and washing it, I mean, there's mop systems out there that have microfiber cloths on it. That's already better. You really don't need anything but water to clean a floor. And I think if you ask even any kind of flooring expert, they would tell you keep the products off the floor. Like, the best thing you could clean hardwood with is just a little bit of water. And I'm not talking like a wet mop, but just a damp cloth is all you need to clean floors.
Right. I still think of someone I knew that every time anyone left her house, she had that bleach out and she was cleaning it. And it was like, I yeah. We get so caught up in our world of how we clean, right? And our ways of thinking, whether it's about clean homes or it's about, different supplements that we can take, right? It's
Yeah.
it's just opening your mind that there is more available and that so much of the old, not the old way, because the old way of doing it was natural. It's right. It's this period that we went through that everything had to be so completely clean. And that's what's taken us on the wrong path. And understand that, dirt's okay, right?
Yeah.
It's like,
Let them eat dirt, right? That's what.
yeah. Well,
Let the kids eat the dirt.
we went through that, what do they call it? Not umbrella, but helicopter parents, right? That wouldn't let their kids get dirty or anything like that. And then kids tended to get sicker because they weren't picking up the germs. It's the same thing. Germs are okay. And there's a huge, there's billions of germs in our body. And as long as our bodies are in balance, then we can handle them. But it's
Yeah.
when we throw in all these chemicals and the poor foods and all the drinks and stuff like that, and the stress that our body becomes unable to deal with it. So yeah, dirty floor is okay. Raise
There's there's actually a study that was published. It was fairly recently that showed that the increase in use in antibacterial, bug killing cleaning products has actually had a negative impact and is now being associated to childhood obesity because it changes the gut bacteria. And so they're linking cleaning products to obesity.
Wow.
Fascinating. Yeah.
And that just makes sense on so many levels, right? It's like all the products, right? The nitrates and the sulfites and everything like that we put in our body doesn't know what to do with it. So it just stores it all in our cells. And it can't convert it, and it can't convert the fat with all those sulfites and everything there. So it just sits there. So once again, obesity. And there's so many factors, lack of exercise and everything like that. But I had not heard that but it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just fascinating what we do to our body without even thinking about it, right?
Yeah.
So any other what else comes up with people where they say, I can't get rid of this product, I need to have it?
I think oftentimes it's a smell issue. I think it's that association, right? So, they associate, the amount of times I hear, I love the smell of bleach just baffles me, but, or they like their fresh pine smell or, the lemony fresh smell. And the thing is, if you can smell something, it means it's in the air, right? So if you're smelling your cleaning products, you're breathing them in. If you like the smell, like if you've made that association and it's really hard to disassociate them, there's a couple things that I usually recommend. Number one is, get yourself a healthy essential oil and maybe just put a couple drops in a bowl somewhere. I mean, you don't even need to diffuse it. For me in our house, I have any kind of smell kind of bothers me because it's not so much the chemical itself, because I mean there are some healthy oils out there. It's more the stimulation. So it's almost like overstimulating the brain. Right. And so I'm a no scent person in our house, but for those that want the smell, put it in a bowl, diffuse it if you want to, but just find something healthier that you can breathe in that's healthy and not a chemical like artificial lemon smell, right? The other thing is it's the, this is a funny one, but it's the actual triggering of a spray bottle. So, I mean, we have spray bottle, right? But I fill it with water. And oftentimes when I go around the cleaning house, I just wet my fibers and I clean. But for some people, just the triggering of that spray bottle really helps. So just having water in the bottle and making that transition slowly. Again, it's that baby step, right? So just switching your product bottle for a bottle of water, and just mentally that kind of helps with the transition.
Okay. So just wondering, so, vinegar has been used, right? forever. Is there a downside to using vinegar?
Yes, I know a lot of people think, and of course it's, again, it's it's good, better, best, right?
Mhm.
Making that transition to vinegar is already a better step,
Okay.
but you still have to manufacture it. And I don't know, are people doing their research in where the vinegar is coming from? So there are some naturally made vinegars, but most of the stuff people buy is that cheap white vinegar, which is really not healthy. And is it manufactured properly, right? And I know, like, what I'm proud about Enyo is the fact that we manufacture with a zero carbon footprint,
Right.
or a carbon neutral footprint.
Mm-hmm.
So we know that the manufacturing process is also not affecting the planet. But yeah, like, if you're going from using a cleaning chemical product to using vinegar, obviously that's a step in the right direction. But looking at that carbon footprint, right, is really important. And something else people don't realize is vinegar doesn't actually, like, once it's in the water, you can't separate it out of the water at the filtration system, right? So once it gets back, it goes, and it still ends up going in the lake. And it's minuscule, but if we say, take every single person in your neighborhood and everybody decides to switch to vinegar, well, now you've got this huge influx of vinegar in the water system. And I don't know if you've ever tried vinegar in a fish tank, but the fish aren't too happy when you add vinegar in the fish tank. So
I would think so.
yeah, it's a drop in the ocean, but at the same time, if it's a step in the right direction, and then, you start looking at, okay, now how can I get even better? So where can I make another slight improvement later, right?
That's interesting. I never thought about that, because I've got that cheap white vinegar, and I'm sure that that it's been used on my floors. So
And vinegar is acidic too. So on wood floors, don't like vinegar. Tiles, anything that is sensitive to change in pH, it would affect the surface, right? It can damage the surface over time. And I mean, it does depend on the concentration that you use. Mm-hmm. But most people don't really measure it out. They just kind of pour it into the bucket.
See, I love this. Right? It gets me thinking and realizing, other changes. Like, we're never perfect, right? There's always stuff that can be done, alterations that can be made. And so, so I'm going to have to go down and figure out. Yes, I have a cleaning lady. All right.
Don't worry. So do I. But I think that's the important thing, right? Is just keeping an open mind and being receptive to learning. I mean, I'm still learning. We're not perfect at home too. We are as close to chemical free in our house as I think we can get, but there's always other ways to learn. Like, now my next step is, how can I eliminate the plastic from my garbage bin, right? So it's just, it's a learning process, and you do it at your pace. And every small change you can make, when you multiply that out by the number of people making those little baby steps, it has such a huge impact.
And that's an excellent note. I've got a hair in my face. An excellent note. Any final word? Well, Lynn, how do we find out more about you? How do people get in touch with you?
I think Facebook is a great way. I'm on social media, pretty active. So you just search my name. There's no other Lynn Grushka in the world, I don't think. It does have Dobler in there, I think, but not on my Enyo page. I'm on Instagram as well. I'm sure if you just Googled Enyo London, my name will pop up. So, yeah.
All right, wonderful. Thank you very much for being here, Lynn. Yeah. We're part of, this is Real Talk Wellness Renegades, and we're part of Speak Up and Empower, which is online global community of heart-centered people searching for more in their lives. We have conversations that change the way we look at the world. So join me next Tuesday again at 10 o'clock, and also Thursdays for Real Talk Soul Alchemy. So thank you again, Lynn, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you so much, Joanna. This was fun.
Okay, great. Thanks. Bye.